Hello everyone, welcome back to Starting with Why, Using EdTech for a Purpose. I am Megan Wise, the Blended Learning Coordinator for the Archdiocese of New York, and today I want to talk to you about HyperDocs. HyperDocs is something that I think is often talked about and used sort of loosely as a term. I think it's sometimes been used incorrectly when people are just talking about a document that has links in it, or it's confused with multimedia text sets and web quests, things that are similar but not exactly the same. For more information on that, I'm going to very much suggest that you go to hyperdocs.co and get the information right from the source. I am not going to pretend to be an absolute expert in HyperDocs. I just want to briefly talk to you about why you should consider using them, especially during remote learning. So as always, I'm going to share my screen so that I make sure not to forget any of the notes I've taken for today. And let's take a look at some reasons why you might want to think about HyperDocs and digital choice boards. So first of all, this is a self-paced way for students to interact with new material. And that's really important, especially during remote learning, because as I've touched on in other videos, many students right now are learning asynchronously because they do not always have the ability to log on live with their teacher. So having a way for them to learn new material self-paced is really important. It's an easy to manage one location for access to learning materials. The whole idea of putting things into a HyperDoc format is so that it's one place for the students to clearly go through step by step on their own self-paced learning journey. It's useful for remote learning as well as being back in the brick and mortar classroom, because if you want students to have a personalized learning experience, you can use HyperDocs and embed digital choice boards right in there to give students voice and choice and to give them a little bit of control over the path of their learning. And another great thing is that a variety of templates already exist for this online. As I already previously mentioned, hyperdocs.co is where I really suggest you start, but there's also a HyperDocs Facebook group, a Twitter page, Instagram, etc. Don't reinvent the wheel. Please use templates that already exist and just personalize them for your own use. The reason why I suggest this is not just to save your time, but to also capitalize on the great work already being done in this medium. This is also really about a shift from being teacher-led instruction to student-focused learning. By embracing the idea of HyperDocs and digital choice boards, you're really honoring your students as individuals, which is really crucial whether you're in remote learning or in a brick and mortar classroom. And lastly, I hope you'll notice on the screen that I have bolded some words: engage, explore, explain, apply, share, reflect. If you go to hyperdocs.co, you will see that that is the way a HyperDoc is supposed to be set up. That you start with something that engages the students, draws them into the learning, before you give them a chance to go and explore on their own content, and then come back and explain. So it's really flipping that idea of, instead of starting with the teacher explaining and then the students going to explore, it's letting the students explore first and then come back together to get the explanation later after you've already built some excitement and some engagement. As always, there will be links in the description of this video, which are the links that are currently on the bottom of my screen, to other YouTube videos to get more full-on in-depth tutorials for how to set up HyperDocs and digital choice boards. But I really hope that this is a strategy that you consider, not just in remote learning, but in any learning. All right, thank you so much for being a part of this video with me today, and I hope you check out the rest of this web series. Thank you, and stay safe, everyone.